Today we will be discussing how to find coterminal angles for radian and degree measurements. I'll start off by explaining what coterminal angles are. Two angles are coterminal if they are drawn in the standard position and both have their terminal sides in the same location. From this diagram we can see that it is drawn in standard position and both angles have their terminal side in the same location, which is this red line, meaning they are coterminal. For our first example, it asks us to find a positive and a negative angle coterminal with a 55-degree angle. To find the coterminal angle, we must add or subtract a full circle or multiple. So in this case, let's start off by writing 55 plus 360 and 55 minus 360. So when we do this, we get 415 degrees and negative 305 degrees. So these angles are coterminal with 55 degrees. This is our negative and this is our positive. That is our answer to the first one, and if we wanted to graph this, we can do a graph. 55 degrees would be about here, and it would be counterclockwise since it's positive. And since we added 360, this would be our showing that we added. This would be our coterminal angle, positive coterminal angle, and this would be our negative since it's going clockwise. And that's how you would show that problem on the graph. For our second example, we have a similar problem in where it asks us to find a positive and a negative angle coterminal with 2 pi over 3. So this is different because now we're dealing with radians. But it's very similar. So if we do 2 pi over 3 plus 2 pi, that's not going to work because we do not have common denominators. So what we're going to do is find our lowest common multiple, which is 3. So we're just going to multiply the top and the bottom by 3. And this is not changing the value because 3 over 3 is 1. So this will give us 6 pi over 3. So now we can do our math. So 2 pi over 3 plus 6 pi over 3, we get 8 pi over 3. Now for subtracting, 6 pi over 3 minus 6 pi over 3 is equal to negative 4 pi over 3, and that is our these are our positive and negative coterminal angles. These are both coterminal with 2 pi over 3. So similar to the last one, so this angle would be around this. So this would be the angle. So to show our positive, we can do this, and negative, you can do this. For our third example, it asks us to find the smallest negative angle coterminal with 374 degrees. So it asks for the smallest negative angle. So it asks for a negative angle, so we have to subtract. And we're dealing with degrees, so we have to subtract 360 degrees from 374. So 374 minus 360 gives us 14 degrees, but that's still not negative. So in this case, we would have to just subtract 360 again, and we get 346 degrees, a negative. And this is our negative angle. And to graph this, it's quite different. So first off, we have to I start by graphing the 374 degrees. So it's going to be a full circle, then just 14 degrees over, so about there. Then draw the line. This is our terminal side. So since we went, so this part is 14 degrees. So after that, we subtracted, and this is our coterminal side. And it's going clockwise since it's negative. So 14 degrees, this is our 374 degrees, and this is our negatives 346 degrees. So for our fourth and final example, it asks us to find the smallest positive angle coterminal with negative pi over 4. So we'll use radians, so 2 pi. And it says positive, so we would have to add 2 pi. So negative 11 pi over 4 plus 2 pi, which doesn't work because we don't have common denominators. So our least common multiple for denominator is 4. So multiply this by 4 over 4, and we're not changing the value because 4 over 4 is still 1. So now we can do negative 11 pi over 4 plus 8 pi over 4, because that's what we got from this. And we get negative 3 pi over 4, which is still not positive. So now we need to add it again. So 3 pi over 4 plus 8 pi over 4. And now we get 5 pi over 4. So that would be our smallest positive angle coterminal with negative 11 pi over 4. And if we were to graph this, we can set this up. And the first thing we would have to do is we would actually have to go down since we started with a negative. So negative 11 pi over 4 would be around here. So here's our terminal line. So then we added pi twice. So we added 2 pi twice, so we would have to go around. So we end up here. And there. So that would be how we would show that. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it helped.